Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to be looking at two Rolex knockoffs, homages, whatever you want to call them, and deciding which is best. So on my left here we got the Invicta Pro Diver, and on my right here we got the Parnis GMT. Now then, both these watches can be purchased on eBay, on Amazon for around £60–70, making them relatively cheap considering their homages to, Rolex is worth 10–15,000. So on the surface seem like a pretty good buy. So they're not fake Rolexes, they don't say Rolex on them anywhere, but they are in the style of a Rolex. They are a homage to that Rolex. So we're going to go through each one and decide which is best. So we're going to start with a Invicta Pro Diver. Now, being a Pro Diver, it is a dive watch. So this particular watch is a homage to a Rolex Submariner. As you can see, if it'll focus, 200 meters water resistant, and classic date window and classic dive markers on the bezel, as you can see here. It does have a rotating bezel, but you need really two hands to do it. It's quite a hard thing to do. And yeah, we've got a screw down crown. We've got a very nice see-through case back with yeah, I believe it's I'm not sure of the movement. I think it's a Seiko. Yeah, it says it on the winder. Oh my god. Yeah, you can see it in there. If it will see, it's a Seiko NH35A. There we go, NH35A. And this is screwed down as well. Excuse me. So yeah, this watch, it's a good dive watch. Now, so it's a homage to a Submariner. So what's not so good about it that is better on the Parnis? I think fit and finish of the bracelet. If I hold that up, see, this watch has never really been used. It's sagging quite a bit. Its standard has polished centre links. Now what I've done is I have polished the bracelet, so it just takes a lot of that shine out of them, because I personally am not a huge fan of polished centre links. So you can see on the actual watch it's a lot shinier than on the actual bracelet. That's because that hasn't, up here the centre link hasn't been polished, and that has. There's a very slight difference. It doesn't really come across on camera. Again, the blue dial looks very good. You can have it in a lot of colour iterations. You can have it, black and black like a normal Submariner. You can have it, I believe, with the date, without the date. So the bad things, the bracelet, that's number one. The crown is a bit awkward to operate. That's number two. And so is the bezel. It feels like it's built down to a price on which quality control. But other than that, particularly for, £60, so you've got a very hard operation on the clasp. There we go. So it comes away. There we go. So other than that, I think that's a great watch for money, and I would definitely recommend it. So then, moving on to the Parnis GMT. So this is a homage to a Rolex GMT Master 2. Similar sort of watch. Oh, I forgot to mention, both these watches, 40mm in diameter. They resemble Rolex sports watches. The lug width is 20mm, and they're about, I'd say, 13–15mm in depth. I don't know exactly, but they're very similar sizes to the Rolex equivalent to that kind of iconic 40mm sports watch. And yeah, again, so this one is again stainless steel, as is the Invicta. No poly centre links, it's completely brushed. As you can see, this one gets worn quite a lot. So the bracelet is a bit battered. Again, we've got a very easy to operate clasp even. Just pull down and out. We've got a screw down case back. Again, this one in the Rolex style of opener. We've got solid end links on the bracelet, whereas the Invicta does not have solid end links. They're hollow. These are solid, and I think it has a bit more weight to it. Maybe I think the Invicta is a thicker watch. If you can see, it doesn't really show on camera, but Invicta's I think a little bit thicker. I think the Parnis just feels a bit heavier, a bit more solid. That can be a bonus or not. And it feels a bit more quality. Stuff like on the bracelet, I can find it. To keep it together, we've got the screws like you would get on a modern Rolex. Whereas in the Invicta, you've got the standard kind of pins that just get hammered in. Both work well, but I think the Parnis just feels a bit quality, more quality. Bezel should rotate. This one it doesn't, because I've broken it. As well, GMT function, that's a bonus. So, what are the bad points? First of all, waterproof. You can see on the dial, there's no waterproof marks. So it does have a screw down crown. It does have a screw down case back, as such, but there's no official water rating from Parnis. This could be due to the fact they just don't want to be liable. But if they knew that this was, a very quality product and could deal with, 100 meters water resistant, why not sell it as that? I believe these are, splash proof. You can go swimming with them, but they don't like to bang on about the water ratings. Because it's not a dive watch, but you can still go swimming with it. That's what I've heard. They don't officially kind of release things. They just say, yeah, you kind of can go swimming with it. But I for true divers, something like this is going to be a lot better. It's got the classic bezel, the classic dive bezel. Another bad thing about this is potentially it's a bit boring. There are a few colour options, like there's a Pepsi one, but there's not as many as on the Invicta. And then the movement, I'm not sure what movement it is. I believe it's a Chinese movement. And then in this, we've got a Seiko movement. Both keep very good time, and they obviously do different things. This one hasn't got a GMT function. This one has. So, what's my verdict? Overall, I think they're both great watches for a price point of around £70. And I'd honestly say go pick up both. I'd say if you can, go pick up both. I personally lean a bit more towards this one. I like a bit of a stealthy watch. So, the bright blue of the bezel and red on the bezel and the blue dial are not for me. But still very good watch, and particularly if you're into diving, this is one to get. But this one, if you travel a lot, it's got a GMT function. It's very good. It's still splash proof, providing the crown screw down, etc. So I'd say they're both very, very good buys. So, and guys, that's all for this one. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.